Hello, my name is Elizabeth Ajayi-Bridges. I am going to present an overview of my literature concept map as it relates to my tentative dissertation paper. I will be discussing boarding schools as a possible alternate education for the underserved youth. As it compares to traditional public schools and charter schools, I will discuss the definition and types of these different school systems, as boarding schools sometimes referred to as residential education, traditional public schools, and charter schools. I will give an example of boarding schools that are taking charge in the efforts of the underserved youth in the Seed Foundation and Black boarding schools. I will discuss the categories that fall under underserved youth, and I will speak on learning outcomes, which include achievement scores, graduation rates and dropouts, and college entry. I will overview nature and nurture. Nature will discuss the role of the individual in motivational leadership and behavior. Nurture will discuss the role of the environment in family, community, and government. I hope you enjoy this video, which shows the living and learning in boarding schools around the world.
Innovating Education Learning World in association with WISE, an initiative of Qatar Foundation.
Many parents struggle with the decision to send their children to boarding schools, and once there, not all young people enjoy it. We find out more in these reports. First, we go to Switzerland to find out about life in a top-of-the-range school reputed to be producing tomorrow's world leaders. Let's take a look.
Here at Aiglon College in Switzerland, the pupils are aged between 9 and 18 and come from 60 different countries around the globe. This is one of the world's most expensive schools, with fees of around 80,000 euros a year. So what do parents get for their money?
The advantage here is that because we're in the middle of the countryside on the Alps, we get to make the most of nature here. We get to go out, apply the biology directly to the nature, and that's really fantastic.
Hola, buenos días.
Discipline is important, and the school is organised into houses, each one with its own housemaster or mistress.
Get signed in by the prefect on duty, and you're leaving the dining room when you are dismissed. I've been told and I've seen a number of members of the house without correct school uniform. Their school uniform is shirt and jacket, regardless what the weather is, whether hot or cold. That's expectations.
The prefect system is also used. Prefects get their own bedrooms in return for helping to enforce the school rules.
You could say it's strict, yeah. I definitely think it's strict in a good way. But at the end of the day, we're here to make sure the students do well, both in-house, outside of house, wearing the right uniform, eating the right food, studying, not messing around. At the end, our job isn't hard because all the students here, thankfully, are great.
10% of the pupils are at the school thanks to their excellent academic results and the school's scholarship program.
I think having scholarship students can be a great motivator for everybody else. It helps to raise the bar, and these people can often become the role models that set the tone.
Outside the classroom, there are lots of other activities on offer, including canoeing, rock climbing and skiing, as well as painting, music and theatre.
Yeah, just like something that I would do as well to start with is I would try and almost summarise what each paragraph is about. So the first paragraph is the pure description. They are motivated, they want to succeed, not just in terms of material wealth, but also in terms of happiness and what they're able to give back to society.
But boarding schools obviously provide in loco parentis pastoral care as well as education. How does that work out? We went to India to find out.
My name is Karan Madan. I'm 13 years old.
In India, some children are in boarding schools simply because they live too far away to make the journey every day. Here in Shimla, the Bishop Cotton School for Boys was founded more than 150 years ago. Fees are around €4,000 a year.
I wake up at 5:30, just sleepy, go settle in my bed, it's compulsory, and I come up for the morning tea. What we're about to receive, the Lord make us feel thankful. Amen. There's tea and there's 2 biscuits, and then we have a roll call. After that, there are games. Then after breakfast, there's a school of 8:45 to 2:15.
Button, Mayang.
For like 2-3 months, felt lonely, but then I found some friends. I have friends here, like my family. If I feel homesick, I would go to my friends and just talk with them. So I feel good.
Most of the boys, they miss their home, so we try to pacify them, see that we are here like your mothers and you are never alone. Any other problem, not only regarding their studies but any other problem, we try to even solve that.
We get leave from school some days. We get off from the school routine and go to the mall road, buy things, watch movies, eat junk food. The school, it teaches a lot of manners. It makes us strong. Studies are also good, but that is the secondary part. It's made for the boarding, like make us punctual, independent. It helps us in life for the future.
Boarding schools teach you a lot of things that a day school would not. Primarily because your parents are not with you. You're going to bump into other students that you might not like, but you've got to get along with. In a small way, that really prepares you for the larger society that you're going to interact with once you leave school.
My last thought is about my family and about the day which is gone, past, and looking for the next day.
And how does it work when a day school also accepts boarders? That's the case at this school in Bali, which incidentally ranked the greenest in the world in 2012.
The Green School in Bali has around 400 pupils and a dozen boarders who come from abroad, like Xavier from Canada.
Everything is like the buildings, are made out of bamboo, like all materials that you can get from here. And then, like the whiteboards are made out of car windows, so it's like it's all recycled.
The foreign students stay for 9 months or more, and the school says the aim is to teach them to be ethically sound individuals and responsible community members by living a green lifestyle in sustainable buildings, eating healthy food.
I think the environment is the strongest impact on the kids. They're coming from environments where they're in concrete, and they're coming here and they're surrounded by nature with birds and bamboo. And in the house here, where pretty much the whole house is made of bamboo, and they come and they wake up and they say, wow, this is like a tree house, this is like an adventure. And it really brings out the kids in them, and that brings out the learning interest.
The school has 3 simple rules. Be local, let your environment be your guide, and envisage how your children will be affected by your actions. All classes are taught with these guidelines in mind.
For example, if we're talking about how many times a student might use the bathroom here, and how much water is used per flush on average throughout the world, and then realizing through a little bit of math how much water is saved by our non-flush toilets here, our composting toilets. So that gives the kids a little bit of an understanding of what it means to be green and connect it to math as well.
The school fees here are €12,000 a year, plus €12,000 for boarding. but parents from all over the world think it's worth it.
What I loved is that every child was asked, what is it that you want to learn on your time here? And on the modules of 6 weeks at a time, they get to choose the subject they want to dedicate more time on during the experiential learning. And he's doing crazy things he would never do in his normal school. They're building the spears and then going fishing and learning how to do it with bamboo from scratch.
The hope is that the school will catch people's attention and eventually impact the wider world, their students becoming ambassadors for environmental living.
It's important to be in a green environment because we came from nature, and it's important to be surrounded by it and to learn in it and just fully dive into it, because it's a more natural feeling than being in a concrete building all the time and forcing yourself to learn things. But here it just comes naturally.
So, now over to you. What are your experiences of boarding schools? Do get in touch with us via our social media pages. We love hearing from you. Goodbye.
I overall hope to answer the question, how does boarding schools compare to traditional public schools and charters in student achievement scores, graduation rates, and entry into college or career vocational programs? What specific measures have been taken by boarding schools, traditional public schools, and charters to make leaders and noble citizens in this society? And why should boarding schools be considered by families, school districts, and the government as an alternate educational choice for the underserved youth compared to traditional public schools and charters? And hopefully, if the boarding school education option is the best for underserved youth. Thank you, and have a nice day.